Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We have another episode of the Women Wise podcast. They're just getting better and better. We've just got some incredible guests. We are here. We're on journey. We're hoping to empower, inspire women in Dubai. I'm Sara Haboubi, and here's my amazing co-host, Janine Lingenfelder.
Yay, I am as excited as you are. Yes, I am Janine Lingenfelder, and today, as always, we are guided by our mission to showcase the journeys, achievements, and of course, wisdom of the city's most dynamic women.
That's right, Janine. And our podcast, remember, the whole point is to serve as a platform for women to learn from each other, to celebrate their successes. And come on, let's break down those barriers.
Oh, absolutely. And our vision is, of course, to become a leading voice for women in Dubai, fostering a supportive community that celebrates diversity and encourages ambition. By sharing the stories of extraordinary women like our guest today, we aim to inspire future generations and redefine what it means to be a successful woman in Dubai.
And speaking of our guest, we have the incredible pleasure of welcoming Shazreh Flanagan. Shazreh, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Very exciting.
You have to be. Absolutely. It's so awesome to have you with us. And tell us a little bit. Your journey is truly remarkable. From earning your master's in business management to discovering your passion for art and interior design. Could you share with us and our listeners how you made that transition?
Oh, it's a long story. Started in the UK. So I've been there for the last 17 years. And started at university. And after that, realised that, I kind of fell into the bracket of falling into finance and working in finance for many years. And it sometimes takes a life-altering event to change your mindset and make you realise what your passions are and what you're good at and what you should be doing with your life. I had a really traumatic car accident about 7 years ago, which basically shaped who I am today. I was very lucky to be alive. And after that kind of riveting experience, you come out of it and you say, what am I doing with my life? Oh my God. I'm working in a bank and I hate it. So it just stirred something within. And that's when I rediscovered my passions for art, for design, for creating beautiful spaces and putting my hands together with property. And that stemmed a longer conversation with my partner here in Dubai, who is a long-time interior designer and creative head of our company. So those long discussions brought us to Dubai from the UK, me and my husband, bless him. So all of us working as a powerhouse to bring that passion to Dubai.
That's brilliant. I love it. And even though obviously it was very traumatic, I think, one of the running themes with all of our guests so far, and I don't think it's going to be any different going forward, is, if you have to live your passion, don't you? You've got something inside of you. And if you're not doing that, if you're not following your passion and you're not living, your true self, obviously you really feel it, don't you? And then when you are living your passion, and I mean, Janine and I were lucky to meet you. We were lucky, all three of us actually met at the same networking event.
Yeah,
and that's why this is really special to have you on here. And there was just that, it was just that wow factor from your story as well, on the day. And we want to showcase your work and who you are, and this is the platform we think for it as well.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to be invited on the podcast, and so proud of both of you for starting it, because we need more women-wise presence in Dubai and empowerment of women, and it's fantastic what you're doing. So really, really touched.
No, absolutely fantastic. And it's you said something earlier, and it just made me think of, home is not where the heart is, but where the art is. Did you see what I did? See what I did? You see what I did, right?
I like it.
Yeah, my tagline, it's not just a work of art, it's a work of heart.
Your passion led you to co-found X Factor Design. Can you tell us more about the company and what sets you guys apart?
Absolutely. So what we like to do is to integrate contemporary modern with luxury Dubai lifestyle in home. Obviously taking more kind of ideas and tips from 2024 and trends that we're trying to embody in our aesthetics. What we like to do is create functional spaces, aesthetically pleasing spaces, and give other people good advice for their own house and home. Obviously, in today's changing world, everyone wants to be different. So I'd say what sets us apart is that we have a unique taste and also are able to adapt to what the customer wants, what they're looking for in their home. A bit more about us. So it's a brainchild of me and my partner, who's the creative designer, Sara. And we work with a collaborative team as well in renovation. So we can do everything from start to finish, including, consultation, design to execution. So if you want your entire flat ripped out or house ripped out and completely remodeled, we can do it. We're the people for you.
And we've got
that sounds like a topic.
We've got, I think because it's very hard to talk about art unless you show it. I mean, we absolutely have to see this. So I think we've got some slides here, haven't we? Fantastic.
Yeah, some aids.
So talk us through what you're going to show us today.
Of course, yes. So a lot of people don't actually know what their style is and they need to see it. So I thought I'd put in some prompts today. So our first slide is showing coastal design, which is kind of like your beach-esque view, and you've got your blues and your whites and your kind of textures and sand and just making you feel like you're at a villa on the beach. Some people really like this style, using kind of grass blinds and a lot of kind of open space. So it's very airy and inviting.
Beautiful.
Like yeah, that would be a bit of me, I have to say, the beach one. Even if I'm not living by the beach.
Well, these elements can be integrated, so you don't have to have all of the same thing, but you can take from different types of styles and put them together in your own niche and make it your own. Contemporary is obviously the contemporary choice. Modern.
Would this be the most common sort of choice in Dubai, do you think, like in terms of your clients? Is this what they generally go for? Because this is sort of what you see if you go to the furniture shops, there's very much this sort of layout.
Yes,
It seems to be the most popular.
Yes, it is. And different strokes for different folks, but they do like an element of contemporary, modern Dubai luxury-esque, marble, beige, just neutral colors, pastel tones, and then kind of not garish, bold colors, but different people do like garish, bold colors. And today, in 2024, most popular colors, actually grey is out, brown is in, ladies.
What?
Oh,
Everything's grey. I'll change my whole furniture again.
You don't have to do that. You can just add elements. So you could just put in, for example, a coffee table that brings that brown element in, or even a different rug, or sorry, what were you saying?
No, I think there's a bit of interference. Sorry, no.
Oh, sorry. Even a different rug or different textures in terms of artwork, little pieces that can go on your table. And this is mid-century modern, so bringing an element of that teak in and having skylights, having soft furnishings that are more mid-century, so going back a bit, but trying to bring the old into the new. That's what people like as well.
Love that. Yeah, skylights does make a big difference.
Oh, for sure. But it's not always possible in apartments.
True.
No, I don't think my neighbours would be too happy.
If you like that rustic feel, though, again, you can add elements of wood and make it more like kind of a cottagey vibe as well. And there's another mixture of relaxed, modern, with contemporary styles. So don't forget to put some big plants in there as well. Just a few fixtures.
Oh, I would, but I tend to kill mine. So I think I'm probably better off actually with fake ones.
Yeah, fake plants are good too. And apparently succulents take away some of the frequencies from our technology, which, you know, has detrimental effects in terms of radiation. So if you have cactuses or succulents, they take away some of that frequency, so you're not constantly 5Ging it.
And if I don't water it, it's all right.
Yeah, they'll survive.
I like that though. I like that with the wooden floor. Oh yeah, this is. I don't think I could do the really minimal look like that, I have to say. And
yes, it depends.
I find bare walls very strange. I don't know, is that just me?
Yeah, I do too. But some people like that minimalist thing. It's a movement. So it's kind of Japanese inspired and Scandinavian inspired to have more. Less is more. That's the approach. But I wouldn't say that's very Dubai-esque, but some people might like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it is. But yeah, there's something missing for me personally.
The thing is that when you're looking at it, you're thinking, I just want to put a pic on the wall or some sort of color somewhere.
Yeah.
And do people basically say to you, okay, it's up to you? Like, has anyone ever done that? Just go, I really don't know. You just do it. I'm going to walk in and it's going to be a big surprise. Have you had that experience?
Yes, absolutely. So you get, those are mostly male customers.
They're like, I'm colorblind. I've got no taste. I hate shopping.
Yeah. You know, you'll find kind of men like to go for a more industrial look. Like, oh, can you do it? Because I need to feminine this up a bit. It's a little bit.
And it must be quite scary though when someone just goes, well, there you go, there's a kind of blank canvas, and you've got to, like, what's your process then of getting sort of drawing out of them what would actually really suit them? Because it can't just be your choices, can it? Like, you've got to sort of get to know that person. So what sort of, where do you start with? What do you start with?
You start with consultation, get to know them a bit, and they'll say, oh, we want some artwork, or we want some different furniture or something more modern. And then you I work with my partner, Sara, and she comes up with a proposal, which is a few ideas and designs and a mood board, and put together nicely in a big proposal. So you can see textures, you can see everything down to fixtures and fittings, what kind of white goods you want. So some people who want completely furnished white goods, like, you know, washer, dryer, your microwave, fridge, everything needing doing, because you can get empty shell apartments as well. So if that matches the aesthetic as well, that's what they're looking for. Either they want that metallic chrome or they want the white look. Depends, it just does. But once they're happy with the proposal, they might tweak a few bits, a few elements here and there. And then once they're happy with it, then we start implementing.
That's I like that. We actually have a question here from one of our listeners, Mandy. She's saying she loves a minimalist look herself. So how do you go from pretty cluttered to minimalist?
Ooh, okay. Some
good question.
Use baskets. So when you've got stuff lying around everywhere, make good use of baskets and try and use neutral colors to hide things. That's a really good tip. Obviously, like, you can also use different kind of ottoman space. So footstool ottomans, where you can open them and put all of that clutter in them. If you've got excess cushions and cloths and things you want to put away, it's a handy thing to do.
There we go. I love that.
Yeah, I think going from clutter to minimalist it's quite a challenge, isn't it? Really, because you've probably got a lot of, most people obviously are not from here, so they'll have travelled and they'll have maybe bought bits and pieces from different countries, and maybe the whole style does get a little bit sort of overwhelming. Do you ever have someone coming to you with a sort of one piece, like maybe a piece of artwork or a piece of furniture, and saying, design everything around that? This is the thing that's got to stay, and everything's got to be designed around that. Do you ever have that?
Haven't had that so far. but people kind of are expecting a certain look. You know, you get like horsey clients as well who want a lot of horse artwork, even in terms of statues. So there are elements that they like having in, like horse paintings, or you know, Dubai is very fond of their horses, so that's an element we've had.
Mandy's saying here she's not too keen on baskets. Is there another option? Mandy's getting a consultation here. Mandy, do you want to come in?
Love it.
Not too keen on baskets. Any other kind of storage solutions that aren't too garish? I'd say,
sure.
For instance, I can think of you know, the shoe racks that kind of hide themselves into the wall. You can get something that's a storage container that matches your wall, and you can just slip your bits in there and then close it up. So it looks
I like clever things like that, I have to say now. I think that's the engineer in me. I like to, I like things that you kind of, that you don't know they're there.
Yes,
you know.
yeah. It's, you know, there's a whole industry on storage ideas, which are, you know, there's loads of things you could do if you don't really like baskets. Maybe look at a bit of decluttering as well, perhaps getting rid of
what's her name? Is it Michelle Kondo? Is that it? You know, the whole decluttering your life.
Yes.
You know,
I love her.
But it's, you know, there's a lot. I mean, you know, where the home is, where the heart is. You know, you spend, you know, so much time in your home, and if you don't feel comfortable, it can be quite depressing, can't it? I mean, there is actually a whole area of psychology of you know, the environment that you're living in and the impact that it actually has. Have you seen people? Have you sort of, you know, in terms of a client who's had a transformation of their home and what impact it's had on them? Have you seen, you know, what a new sort of spruced up environment has done for people?
Definitely put smiles on faces for people who had an empty shell before, and they were looking for something that just gave them life and was more modern, contemporary. For example, taking out a staircase and replacing it entirely with glass. Definitely cheered up our customers, because it's just a whole new ethos in that room now. When you walk in, from horrible cement staircase to having this beautiful glass staircase that you can just see the whole lounge from the stairs, makes a huge difference.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. I'm going to the next slide here. This is the nice.
This is the rise of open plan, where people like having their kitchen island and the kitchen part of the lounge and the whole thing dynamic but open. So that's very popular in Dubai as well.
I can imagine.
Who doesn't love a kitchen island?
Oh, that's very minimalist there.
This was a redesign. So we took a 5-bedroom apartment and furnished it with the decisions that the customer wanted. So put in this modern-esque / contemporary Dubai luxury marble style into their apartment, including the very popular rise of mushroom cloud lights.
I was looking at the lights. I was like, ooh, I like them. Yeah, I mean, light fittings is probably quite a, you don't have to be cheap about it, but probably quite an easy way maybe to spruce up a space, isn't it, really? Like, you could really make a big statement with your light fittings. I like them. So are they from here? Do you get most of your pieces from Dubai, or do you scout around?
From Dubai, from different vendors, shopping around and always keeping an eye out for something unique. So the use of lighting is so important, and we've got those skylights as well. So you don't really notice them as much, but they do make a difference when you're sat there. It's not in your face and garish. And the next light is nice as well, with the kitchen lights.
Great view.
Yeah, it was. That was the show-stopping point of this apartment, was the view, because you could see the Dubai Eye, even though it's not working. You can still get
we won't go there.
Yeah, that's a different podcast.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that's stunning.
Yeah, and paneling on the walls, that makes a difference with textures.
Oh yeah.
Little kitchen island there / cubby holder. Thought that was kind of useful as well, so you can put all of your bits in there.
I love the mirrors. The mirrors also makes a big impact in a room, right?
Oh, for sure. It makes it feel much bigger. Feng shui, ladies.
Oh.
So do you bring that in then? Is that something that you're familiar with, which is the energy flow in a space? And
well, of course, we try to bring all kinds of theories into our design work, and mirrors generally do bring feng shui. Depending, you should never put a mirror opposed to another mirror because that's just counterproductive and against the principles.
Yeah. And it's very weird as well to see yourself being repeated 100 times behind you in front of you.
Anyone been in a house of mirrors? Not so much fun.
I like this. I like the bathroom, the sort of floating cabinet. That's a great way if you've got quite a small space as well, isn't it? To you sort of show more floor, and then it makes it look a bit bigger.
Much more popular now, and his and her sinks very popular. The kind of floating sink as well, and his and hers mirrors. This was a luxury bathroom because it's got that beautiful tub in the corner.
I was about to say, all I want to do is take a bath in that. Oh, it looks stunning.
Is it just me, or does anyone else miss having a bath? I really do.
Every now and again.
Oh, look at this. Is it marble? The walls, the tiles?
Yes, yeah, marble tiles. It's kind of like a greyish white marble, but it doesn't look grey. It just looks like a kind of white, beigey, because it mirrors the floor. Yes, this was the apartment actually that I was talking about, the villa, well, 2-floor duplex. On the next slide, you'll see the staircase I was mentioning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can definitely imagine what it looked like before if that was just all enclosed.
Yes, I do have the before. It was white marble, not marble, even white cement. It just looked really old, just not what you want for a modern feel.
That's a great idea, though, to open it up.
It is stunning. Your dedication to the craft is truly inspiring. So I want to ask you, what challenges have you faced and how did you overcome them? Because there must be quite a few stories.
Yeah, well, my partner has faced a lot of challenges with contractors, let me tell you. I think that's one of the main challenges is A, communication gap, and B, being there to make sure they're doing everything that you've asked correctly. But I think that's a common problem in Dubai. A lot of interior design companies struggle with contractors and usually have to constantly supervise and watch over what's happening.
I think that's probably universal, to be honest.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah, probably. I think it's always, just having worked in the building industry many years ago, there was always problems, always, arguments between contractors, between the client and the contractor.
Yeah.
But I suppose here there's probably the added dimension of language barriers, as you said, maybe a communication gap.
Yeah, it helps to be bilingual.
Sorry, go on.
I wanted to just ask, what is the most rewarding part of your job?
Rewarding is the end, like seeing the beautiful work at the end from the before, and then for me having to market that and say, wow, look at what it was like and look at what we've done, and seeing the smiles on people's faces when they've come in and they're surprised at how much better it looks, what can be done by a professional.
I like that.
And what's the sort of minimum job work that you do for people? Like, do you come in sometimes and just go, actually, do you know what? The space is okay. It probably just needs a few tweaks. Do you do that as well? Or is it always just a kind of clean sweep?
Well, it has to be worth our time. It has to be worthwhile to go in there and offer our services. But if people are just looking for consultation work, that's something that we can kind of discuss depending on what they're looking for, really. They're just wanting, like, I don't know, a bathroom renovated, maybe not.
So your jobs are normally a bit bigger, like more of the whole flat, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big deal, isn't it, to kind of, renovate anything?
Oh, for sure.
If you're going to go in, were there some other slides? Did we look at everything, or was there some of the artwork as well?
There's still another one. It is on its way, but I just want to ask you, Shaz, where do you draw your inspiration from when you start designing a new space?
I think it's mostly my partner that has the inspiration moments. She's very creative. She uses a lot of her kind of background of just seeing a space and knowing what to do. Obviously, I come up with my own input, but at the end of the day, that's her space where she just kind of walks in and says, right, here we're going to put mirrors and here we're going to put tiles, and it's going to be this kind of lighting. Really magical to watch, actually, when she walks in the room.
Oh, powerhouse.
Yeah. And also inspiration comes from going to vendors and seeing their work, or from meeting with locals that are creating bespoke furniture. That's a fantastic way to kind of gain inspiration through networking. I did actually recently see a fantastic lady's work, Jana Svetlova Designs, and she has created her own line of wall coverings, which are fabulous. Definitely want to integrate that into your house, because she does this beautiful kind of watercolor-esque wallpaper in amazing designs, in gold leaf, in a Japanese, what are they called? Those blossoms. What are they called?
Like cherry blossom?
Cherry blossoms. Yeah. So if you're looking for that kind of Japanese look as well, oh, beautiful work.
Tell us about this.
Oh, yes. So this is a 4-poster bed, which on the right, which is quite, I think, rare to find nowadays. We thought it would just bring the room kind of an extra oomph. And this is, again, another bed in the master bedroom, and with the side lights being, what's the word for it, where you can plug your phone in as well. It's got an extra light, so it's multifunctional. So we like using space to create functional and aesthetic as well. Little reading light at the bottom, so when you're going to bed, you can read a book.
Do people still do that? I think people are on the phones most of the time before they go to bed.
Some people do.
I think if you've got a really lovely bedroom like that, with a 4-poster bed and everything else, you're probably more inclined to really want to enjoy the space as well.
Oh, this was the terrace outside. So I was going to say the use of green is in, and AstroTurf is very popular again, and it has this lovely look to it on a terrace. It really makes it look better than your plain marble tile. And using the use of green in the house in terms of living walls, or it's really popular now, and it's eco-friendly because it's not actual real grass.
Yeah, exactly. It helps. See, Sara, that's what we also need to get. It won't die.
Yeah,
get
fake grass, fake plants. Look fabulous.
More floating sinks, and a beautiful bathtub that I want to get into.
It's amazing. I love the wall there next to how the light is up the tiles.
Yes, that was a feat to achieve. It's a feature wall with that beautiful marble tile and the light in the side of the tiles.
You'd never get out of the bath. You'd be in there forever.
Yeah, it even has a standing tap, which is fantastic, because then when you lie back, you're not worrying about the tap hitting you in the back.
Oh, that sounds so relaxing right now.
I'm jealous. Definitely jealous.
Yeah, and this was a holiday home that we redid. It was an empty shell apartment. I've got the befores as well. This is so modern, contemporary style with a few art pieces here and there, and a beautiful view of the marina. That terrace was massive as well.
You wouldn't need a TV. Just look out the window.
Yeah, exactly. A few more pictures. That's paneling is also very popular. So French paneling on the walls. It just gives it that whole new look of texture on your wall rather than just plain.
It probably helps as well if you've got very high ceilings and big spaces, just can be a bit echoey as well. So that probably dampens that down.
Yes, absolutely. A few little close-ups.
So nice.
I love the use of light and colour as well. And we've jumped onto a horse. So Sara and I have had many discussions actually about my artwork. So personally, I paint wildlife, I paint abstracts, and this is one of my creations, Adriana, the horse, in a unique muscular tone style.
Oh, they're amazing. They're just amazing. They're just stunning. And you're self-taught as well, aren't you, with your art?
Yeah, completely. So that was always my hobby as a child, was painting. And I always wanted to paint horses for some reason. So as a teen, I started developing this style. And I think one of my first paintings was a black stallion that I gave to my dad when I was about 16, and he still has it in his office, which is really cute. Yeah. Obviously looking back now, I'm like,
but it's very distinctive, and you can really sort of imagine this is the horse and its muscles. And horses is incredibly difficult to draw and paint. Like, they're one of the most difficult animals, but you really got a knack.
It's taken a lot of practice. It's not easy. No, definitely not. Yeah, because they are unusual shapes. And this is a goat abstract style, which I painted for my husband. He likes the use of darker colours, so I did a bit of a black background. A horny goat.
If you had to go back to the process of this, how long does a painting like this take you?
So this was at oil. I think this one took about 15 hours, so it didn't take as long as some of my other paintings have. This one was just when it's fun like this, it's freehand, so I'm not bothering with trying to get the drawing perfect, the scale correct. Well, obviously get the scale correct, but not to the point where it's exhausting. So you can just kind of play around with the colors, and I think that's more fun, more freehand.
Love the colors. I mean, look at this. Tell us about this one.
This is called the parrot in the forest, or parrot in the jungle even. I don't know if you can find the parrot, but he's in there somewhere. Yeah, maybe
if you squint.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I love the colors. I love the vibrant colors. Like, that would be, see, a piece like that in a room that's kind of quite black but quite plain would be great, because then it really,
in the Scandinavian room.
That would definitely needs to go in there.
Yeah, it's I love the use of bright colors, and that's quite popular in home aesthetics now as well. But I think if you've got a plain white wall, having something vibrant like that really just brings out so much.
Absolutely stunning.
Oh, that's fabulous. Look at that.
That is my rendition of a Siamese fighter fish.
Amazing.
That's
quite different, isn't it? Like, you've obviously got a very versatile range in terms of the way you paint and your kind of inspiration as well.
Yeah, I think I use watercolor and oil paints. The oils I like using for abstract work because they're just buttery on the page. That's the best way to put it. just flow with it. Watercolor, I have to be very controlled with, because it's, you know, too much and then it's ruined the entire painting. Whereas with oil, you can just put more on, just slap it on, keep going.
I love that. Just slap on more.
Just slap on more paint, it's fine. Just do another layer. I really want to actually have a workshop for ladies, for women, to de-stress and just paint, because it's such a good form of sublimation. I'd love to do that.
Count me in.
I was about to say, I think you've got already 2 supporters.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fantastic.
I'll splash a bit of colour around. Give it a go.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Lions, tigers, and bears. Who doesn't love a colourful lion?
Beautiful.
Majestic.
Absolutely beautiful.
Tiger. This one's a more realistic one in watercolour.
I
think.
Oh, look at this.
Absolutely stunning. And this is quite a big piece as well, isn't it? You were saying this is...
It's about that big, yeah. My mum stole it, so sorry, ladies. It's hanging on her wall. Proud mum. But, you know, this is the kind of horse painting I do in watercolour. Hopefully, if the Dubai market likes it, that would be fantastic.
Well, you would think you're in the right place. And, you know, there are certain people who like to have their horses, you know, portraits of their horses. So, you know, I think definitely, you know, it's just so unique, and it really stands. Like, you could just, if I saw a piece like that now, I would know it was you, you know, definitely. And I think that's quite a challenge to have such a unique style.
Oh, for sure. And there's so many horse painters out there, so it's good to have something different, I think.
No, do you ever use your own art in homes when you do the final?
So that is my plan going forward, is to offer up abstracts and horse paintings with our future renovation projects, or future projects with X Factor. Yeah, that's a good question.
That's amazing. So it actually falls right into where my train of thought is going, is, you know, looking ahead, what are your goals for X Factor Design, and how do you envision the company's impact on the community?
Oh, that's a very very difficult question to answer. A future vision is, of course, to change people's homes, change their lives, get into more of a commercial space as well. Future visions for my art is to integrate that into people's homes, whether that's through X Factor or otherwise. But that's one of my personal goals. X Factor, you know, is a baby, and we're helping it grow at the moment. So we're always looking for more people to help renovate their homes and bring the love into their houses. So
but I mean, it's amazing how many, I mean, you know, I've only been here since August, and everywhere I go, people are renovating their villas. Every single, you know, state, you can see, you know, villas are being extended, they're being, you know, things are being knocked down, you know, so it seems to be a bit of a craze going on in terms of villas being overhauled. You know, what do you think's driving that? Like, why are people so keen to sort of invest in their homes like that now?
So there are many reasons. One being that some people are looking to buy villas to flip them. So they renovate them, buy older villas that, you know, are going at a lower price, and then they can flip them and sell them or rent them out for a higher price. Other reasons are because they're dated and they want to have this modern appeal and have this contemporary Dubai luxury appeal. So there's that kind of motivation as well. Again, with meadow townhouses as well, people are looking to change the aesthetic because it's really like 80s style. So that's a really popular drive as well, to give it that modern look, the Dubai luxury look.
always there, that Dubai luxury look, right?
Yeah, but it's very distinctive. It's a lot of marbles, golds, beige. You've got the kind of grandiose whites and neutrals, big glass kind of windows. You can tell it distinctively. There's even that kind of desert Arabian architecture that's coming in now, like we've seen at the Opus, which is fabulous, by the way, if you haven't seen the building. It's incredible. So the architecture is showing that kind of wave, but the dune, like a sand dune kind of white in the architecture. So as you walk in, you can see the layers, which is fantastic.
I've not been. I'm just going to have a look.
Yeah, in Business Bay, Opus. I think it's Me by the Opus. ME. Strange, I know. I don't know why it's called Me. But
well, I just always think, you can do and be whoever you want to be in Dubai at the end of the day, and your home obviously is going to reflect that. So you can aspire to an awful lot here,
for sure. You can gain inspiration, like you asked, from so many of these popular places, like the Address, for instance, where they've got floor to ceiling wood in the doors, and you're like, oh my god, all I can see is wood. What's going on? Or just like infinity pools with a kind of standing bit in the middle of the pool, and lights in the water, so you can kind of think, use that at home. I could add a bit more lighting, use a few more features in my house, maybe put lights around my paintings.
Is that something that you do to go and look at different places around Dubai to get that inspiring feeling to put into your decor?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, we often go around meeting vendors or looking at new architectural places to gain inspiration. I think you have to stay current. You have to see what other people are doing to see what's popular and develop your own catalogue of trends and design options for people to kind of go, oh yeah, they're doing that. Yeah, I like that. I want it in my house.
And obviously the aim is that people will walk in and be so wowed by what you've done that they'll then hire you as well. People come, their visitors will come over.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. Because there are a lot of, but I think like anything here, there are a lot of everybody, every type of business there's a lot of it here, but there's also a lot of business. So where do your clients mainly come from? Is it just personal contacts? Is it that it's referrals or just people you just meet? Where do you generally find your clients?
I'd say through networking, through meeting people. So being on panels as well for developers. So if they've got a bunch of clients that they need someone to do work for, or renovation work for, or interior design work for, so on and so forth. And also it's a mixture really, and contacts that you can meet in Dubai, contacts you already hold. Kind of like anything else, you've got to go out there and hustle.
That's
definitely the town for that.
Yeah. Hustle.
No doubt. What advice would you give to aspiring female entrepreneurs in Dubai?
Oh my God, that's a loaded question. Advice. Wow. Okay. I'd say trust your gut. And also own it. You've come to do something, do it totally, and run your business like a business. Don't run it like it's just a day job, because that's what happens when you transition from a day job to a business. Like, oh God, I don't know what to do. Run it like a business. That would be my advice.
That's great advice. I think that thing of, if you're going to do it, like go in, but again, I think, everyone we've had so far, and as I said, I'm sure it's going to continue.
Yeah.
It's the passion, and you really see the passion coming through.
Yes. Don't do things by half measures. You've got to go in headfirst totally and be completely committed. As you two wonderful women know in your own businesses, you're completely devoted and committed to your cause.
We managed to get a few hours out to come and do this as well, though, which is really interesting.
Amazing. I don't know how you find the time.
Neither do we.
No, it's like time has expanded to but it just feels like it was the right thing to do, I think, to sort of showcase talent that's here, because Janine and I, we'd had this conversation. It was like it's just incredible. The people we met, these women, they're just amazing. I said, wouldn't it be great to actually showcase and to give people a platform to, to listen to what people are doing, and not just in those networking situations, which are always great, of course, the in-person meetings. And we will eventually become an in-studio podcast. We'll have people in the flesh. That's the dream. That's the aim. And this is going to expand. And I think it's building that network and building that community. And as you said, very supportive community, and really encouraging women to go out there and crush it.
Exactly. It's the one thing that I always say is, don't be afraid to own your story. And I think that's the one thing that we're doing here it's the bravest thing we do at the moment, is just putting ourselves out there and bringing people and building this community for females and empowering one another.
Isn't it so inspiring that when, because you're thinking, I'm the only one. Sometimes you think I'm the only one who's out there kind of, trying to be as authentic as possible, making the biggest attempt. And then you meet people and you're going, oh, actually, everyone really wants this. Like, this is something that I think has been missing for a lot of people in other places. Whereas here, I just feel there is that sort of supportive community. So I'm going to ask you a tough question then, Shazreh. If you could only do, it just keeps throwing them at you. If you could only do one, the interior design and everything else, or the art, your own painting, which one do you think you would do?
My. Can I put my hands together?
Yes.
Obviously my main passion is my painting, because I love it. It gives me joy. It's my joy. And I think spreading that joy with other people gives me life. Painting's the reason I exist, really. When I'm not painting, I'm not really existing. Well, not breathing, I'm just existing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Painting is something that, I've got pieces of art that I just have so much enjoyment from them for years and years and years. I can sometimes just sit and just look at a piece of art that especially if it's got meaning and it's, something very personal, maybe from a trip or from, the artist, maybe.
Yeah.
I might have one of those on my wall one day.
Absolutely, Sara. I'm making one for you. But you're so right. Like, I dragged my husband to Art Dubai. Of course, he loved it. Not quite. He just kind of went, they all look the same, really. And I went, no, they don't. Oh my God, how can you say that? That's from Paris, and that's from Vienna, and that's from Morocco. Look at the inspiration. And you go by and you're like, oh, they're just some pieces that just shock you. But they're also pieces that just move, like, they all move you in a different way. And you just can't stop yourself from staring at the piece. And he's like, come on, hurry up, we're going now. I was like, no.
But that's the thing of art as well, right? Is you kind of can choose the art that really speaks to you regardless the trends, right? That's what I love.
Yeah. And I love when people create something completely unique. For instance, at art, they took paper and used, I think it was resin, epoxy resin, which is how do you describe it? It's a chemical that makes it becomes solid after a certain time. But the way they'd used it on the paper made it look like a candy wrapper almost, because it squished the paper in different colors, and then they added the colors in. So the swirls and everything just made it look like it was a candy wrapper, but it was all bent up but solid. It was incredible to look at and observe the detail. And then the shade came. Look at one of the horse paintings and we got pushed out of the way.
And you just put one of your horse paintings just like
by the way.
So here's another question, because I think it's quite pertinent in this day and age where we've got AI. So AI, you know, can now generate everything pretty much by the sounds of it. What's your what's your feeling around that? Like, have you come across sort of AI generated art that you maybe didn't think it was, or do you think there's always an element of, yeah, that's not quite human? What's your opinion of that?
Well, everyone's heard of ChatGPT. GPT is not GPT. And now it's started creating artwork. And I'm like, what? Hold the phone. Wait, what? So you'll type in a word and it'll come up with a painting, which I found, like you said, shocking. But it's not even that bad. Like the artwork it's coming up with, you can't even be mad at it because it's actually quite okay. I'd say, you know, AI generated versus real art. You can't do that. You can't.
Yeah.
It's just a travesty, isn't it? It's like, I would say, you know, a lot of people like to get this mass-produced stuff as well for their home because it's cheaper, it's easier, and it's already framed or whatever. But I would strongly encourage people to support artists off Etsy and Redbubble because they're local artists in Dubai. They're not AI generated. They're sitting there creating something personal, handmade, and it's a piece that you can talk about when someone comes into your home and say, I got this off a local artist off Redbubble, and it's a piece that was very personal to them, or maybe it was a war inspired piece, maybe it was a piece that's inspired by loss of family, all kinds of reasons. And AI can't replicate human experience.
Exactly. There's no emotion in that. And that's what real art is about.
For sure.
So AI can't do that.
No.
Capturing the human spirit.
Of course. And that's what we live for, to tell that story. Life is made through story.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, this is so inspiring. Your work is just, I just want to see more. I want to see real stuff.
I'll bring you. You know what? I'll bring you some stuff, or maybe I'll do a show, a gallery.
That's what I wanted to hear. Yes, girl.
Definitely. I think that. But I think that thing of, you know, having one of your pieces in, you know, your refurbishments, you know, to have that sort of signature of, you know, you were here and this was, you know, I think would be, you know, pretty special for anyone who was living in those houses, you know.
Very unique.
If people want bespoke artwork as well, that's something we can offer, along with bespoke furniture. Why
because you discovered you also had a talent for doing pet portraits as well, didn't you? This was something that you ended up doing it in lockdown.
It was. Lockdown made everyone a bit crazy, and because people were kind of trapped indoors, all they really had were their pets. So they just went, I want a painting of my pet, or I want a painting of my pet who passed on, which was quite sad as well. I had to paint some lost doggies, but also live doggies. I was once asked, actually, how do you get them to sit still when you...
Oh, wow. That's a challenge for sure.
No.
That's from a photo.
You take a photo.
You can just make you could make anything up with that one. You could just my brain's just gone wild now.
Yeah, and some people said, "Oh, you paint dogs, dead dogs. Do you put the tongue back in their mouth?" And I went, "Oh my God, no!"
Oh wow, that is extreme. Wow.
Yeah, bit depressing.
So it sounds like you can really tell some stories.
For sure. And so what would be one piece of advice you would give people regarding their home? Like how can they show their home a bit of love? What do you think would be one piece of advice?
I'd say stop matching everything. Everything doesn't need to match. A lot of people think they need to match the furniture with all the other items, but you're better off having bespoke pieces of furniture that tell a story. Again, it's all about storytelling. So says, "Oh, I like this piece," and you say, "Right, this was from a bespoke handmade furniture store," or, you know, I've used different inspirations that make me happy, rather than, so for instance, buying everything all in one place and matching it all up just makes it look like you haven't really tried. You haven't made an effort. You just said, right, I'll just get all.
Some people don't know where. Some people don't really know where to start. So I suppose when they see the sort of the showroom in the shops, they kind of go, well, they sort of know better than me. But I think you're right. I think that idea of bespoke pieces can really just, differentiate that room from, even if you've got sort of standard pieces that lots of other people have, but just having one or two pieces around can really bring a room to life.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be expensive pieces either. Like I said, you can shop around, have a look at things on Etsy or Redbubble. I mean, you don't have to buy a 100,000 dirham gold gorilla and put it in your house.
Hey, were you reading online?
Or a beagle.
Or a beagle.
Well, you always wanted a beagle, Janine.
You did.
Sorry, whoever's watching, because this is a bit of an inside joke.
Beagles and chihuahuas.
Beagles and chihuahuas.
Oh my goodness.
How about a gold elephant? Maddie said.
Sorry.
Oh, gold elephant. Yeah, I don't know. I quite like the gold gorilla, though. I think gold gorilla is that's definitely going to be a talking. That would definitely be a talking piece.
I had to
Oh, for sure.
But it was massive. It was the.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about a real thing. I thought that was a joke.
Oh no,
Someone actually had a gold gorilla.
It's a fully gold gorilla in I think it was
Only
in
in Dubai.
the malls I saw in Dubai. Absolutely massive, from floor to ceiling.
Wow.
Huge. I wouldn't like to lift it. Let's put it that way.
Amazing.
I'd say
Amazing.
also a good tip is that you want to play around with lighting, like we said. Add some more lamps, add some more side lights, ambient lighting. Different parts of your house can have dimmer lights or brighter lights. You don't have to have all the same. And everyone loves a little nook. Put some lighting for your little reading nook by the window, or if you read, some people do, some people don't.
Pretend.
Everyone loves a little nook, a little bench where you can sit down, put some cushions on, and the use of soft lighting there. That's a really good tip.
I love that. So many insightful information and wisdom that you're sharing here today. Absolutely. I love your energy, and I can just imagine having you as a personal decorator. It must be so inspiring for your clients to actually work with you as well. I can't see it any other way.
It's all about the customer experience.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? Yeah. It's got to be something that is joyful and not too stressful. So I'm sure you bring that fun factor as well as the X factor.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You want to make your customer feel like, that you're taking that stress away from them and giving them helpful prompts where they're looking at pictures of, for example, styles or lights or options that they might like, or have they thought about, having a different kind of kitchen cabinet layout where you can pull out, or magnetic cabinets, or and it's kind of opening their awareness to that, and then they
go,
oh.
I think that's great, isn't it, to have that. Janine, we're up at the hour again. I can't believe it. Like this time just flies.
Crazy.
It is mental. It's mental.
Oh.
I love it. Our time.
Fantastic. What a great guest. We were dying to have you on. You've been away, you abandoned us. You're back now.
I'm back.
He's back. Yeah, it's thanks to our listeners as well for tuning in. Really appreciate your support and for the questions that you're putting in. Before we end, Sara, do you want to just talk about buy us a coffee? That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so we've got some big ambitions for Women Wise, and we need everyone's help. If you enjoy our content, if you would like to support us, you can just literally buy us for the price of a cappuccino or two. You can. There's a link. It'll be inside underneath the video when it's on YouTube, and it was also in the description of this as well. All donations gratefully received. And yeah, it'd be great to be able to move into an actual studio and have people live. And I think it will give a much better experience for our listeners and our viewers as well. So yeah, buy us a coffee or two.
Dig deep.
Or two. Great
So,
conversation tonight. Absolutely awesome.
Loved it. And we knew it was going to be fun. We knew it was going to be fun, always going to be fun. Shazreh, when you are running your exhibition, you have to let us know. We will be there in the flesh, and we will do a Women Wise live podcast from your exhibition.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you so much.
So yeah, stay empowered and keep chasing your dreams, people. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.